we're here with a parent, actually, which, if you know, and I know you listen to the podcast, many of you are parents, many of you have family members, and so one of the things that is very important for me is to capture the stories of the family members, in your case, of a parent. So I have with me Sylvia Mochabo from Kenya. Thank you so much for saying yes to my interview. It's an honor. Tell me a little bit about you. You're the mom of a son or two?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my name is Dr. Sylvia Mochabo Akinsiku. I'm a mom of three actually, but then two of them are on the autism spectrum with comorbidity of epilepsy for both of them, intellectual disability, a bit of movement challenges for the middle child, and a model. Yeah, I was using pageantry as a platform to raise awareness. So the former Miss Africa, Miss United Nations, and Mrs. Universal Empire, third global.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
So you're not only a role model as a mother, but you're a model in a real life.
Real life.
Look at you. So you have three children and two of them have disabilities.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your participation last night. You were part of the UNICEF panel, a very important part of the panel. Tell me about your advocacy work.
So my sons are 13 and 14, meaning that it's been a long journey from where we were and where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
When I got my diagnosis of my kids, I had never heard of autism or all of this. At least epilepsy was taught in school, the first aid, which I later learned even what the wrong way to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And through that journey, it was so alone because you don't know where to start, where to go, who to run to. And when you go online, the information was just so heartbreaking because all you hear is like, it's going to be impossible to do this, impossible to do that. And I remember I'm also a Rotarian, so I went to these Rotary events that we have for special needs kids, and that's where I was like, oh wow, there is a lot, there are many kids, but I was like, as Rotarians, we do this for one day, so what about the rest of the days? What about the rest of the year? And that's how I decided to do something about it. First, I felt a sense of belonging, that my children are not alone. Mm-hmm. And then I founded Andy Speaks for Special Needs Persons Africa. Mm-hmm. Why Andy Speaks? Andrew is my middle child. Speaks he took 5 years to call me mommy. And it's that thing that you're always looking forward to as a mother. Mm-hmm. Like, when will he ever say something? Anything, And also, we wanted to be the voice for what I went through, for what he goes through when he cannot speak. Because there's so many things, like when he was being neglected by other children, they're running away from him because he couldn't control his facial muscles. Mm-hmm. So he was drooling. So they're looking at this grown-up boy who's not able to coordinate himself. And some of them would laugh. And who takes all of that? He doesn't know. He's not aware. So as a mom, that was very painful, picking up all these things that people are doing subconsciously or consciously to my child. And for the second baby, I was so consumed in trying to understand this new diagnosis, trying to see how to do something about it. And even when the doctor said that there could be a possibility of my other child being on the spectrum, I couldn't take it. I was like, it can't be. God cannot be that unfair. And that's where now the cultural play of the African continent, where people always say, you may have done something, or ancestral, or traditionally, well, let's go for prayers and pray this out. Yeah. Someone might have bewitched you, and you're like, you have to close up all these noises and try and figure out, how do I help my child? How do I get him to be where I dreamt him to be? And when you go to the doctors, it was so expensive. And at that time, I had to quit my job. I was from married to kids to single, try to figure out, of course, your economic side of things get affected. The days I had to leave late when our fares come by rush hour and non-rush hour. So I had to leave for work a bit late, come late at night when it was the cheapest. You leave the house with $5. No, not even $5. 5 cents. And I don't know how I'm going to get back home. I had to take only dinner so the kids can get a full course 3 you know. So these are some of the sacrifices that we have to make as parents. And when you're being told you need to take them for therapy, you look at the cost, you look at the budget, you look at you're starting business, so you stay afloat. And no one understands. When you reach out to a friend, I remember one time, I said, "Oh, just lend me $5 to buy," because my child had to take a special type of milk. There was lactose intolerant, and I couldn't breastfeed. My milk had gone, and people just think you're just asking for asking. And later on, I'm seeing you buying a dress 10 times. I take you somewhere and you're buying something 10 times, and I just wanted a 10 of that just to feed the kids. But we overcome. We rise up every day, like I said, and you just dust yourself and you have to do what you have to do. And you realize that this is your journey, it is your fight. You have to do what you have to do, right? So there was no failure, there was no room for failure for my business. I had to do everything to get back on my feet and try and give the kids the best I could, which I tried. Of course, it took time. And that thing of not being able to afford special education is like 10 times more expensive. Like a term is $1,000. That time you're making only $200. And you figure out, and that's when you appreciate some of the people who rise above, and you realize that God comes in many ways. He sends you angels, who are the people who held my hand through it. One person came and says that I'll help you with medical insurance, because I have to decide, if I don't get medicine, my child will not move, will not grow, might die at any time. And like, they still need to eat, they still need to go to school. So I have two special warriors, let me put it that way, that I don't know if I'd be where I am without having them by my side. So there's still good people out there, despite the bad that we always see, that they see you, they feel you, even if they're not family. But I always say, like, my God sent angels that took me through the darkest hours. When you want to give up and you need someone to talk to, they were always there to listen, a couple of friends. And that's why I said, through Andy Speaks, I will raise the voices of the things that we are going through, inform parents of what to expect, be there. I've tried to set up therapy centers. It's not going so great because we don't get support. Autism is still being accepted in Africa. And with the cultural element of when people believe that nothing can be done, even when you say this can work, seeing is believing for them. Yeah. So, and then we're so used to basics that even if you do a center of excellence, it's always like, and then people can't afford it. Yeah. I would love to make it free of charge, but of course there is the cost element to it. We would like for government to be able to hold our hands, see what we're doing, have us as part of the conversation. I had the opportunity to serve in the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, and through there I was able to get at least autism to have its own budget in the country for projects of supporting in medicine, like priority. Remember, disability inclusion is not about lumping everyone up and say like social protection for everyone is equal. It's not equal for me. Right. A person needing a wheelchair, that wheelchair is it, and they'll be able to move. For my child, it's multifaceted. There is education, there is medicine, there is other assistive devices. And the sad reality are our assistive devices are not your typical assistive devices. There has to be a lot of creativity. There has to be a lot of that. And when you present such budgets and they're looking like, why are you making us buy toys? I'm like, it's not. This is more, has more to it than just a toy of face value. Yeah. And it is a journey, and we're still hoping that people will be able to understand autism. We're always there to talk. We're always there to enlighten. We're always there to tell you, this will work for us, this will not work for us. If we go this direction, it is better. We do not have to be neurodevelopmental disabilities. We feel like we are double marginalized even within the disability space. Because even when you ask anyone what is disability, they'll tell you the top 3 that they know: hearing, visual, and physical. when you talk about the others, they're like, what is that? So we have
still lack of knowledge.
yes, and for me, I set up a website with all the information, the right information to support parents.
What is the website?
It's called Special Needs Resource Hub, but we're going to revamp it to Neurodiversity Resource Hub, so that way you're able to know our children's education system is different.
And you're based in Kenya,
We're
right?
based in Kenya.
Okay,
Yes, I'm based in Kenya.
So, and as a parent, as a mom, what do you see? And when we were coming up the elevator, you saw we're still so behind. But one thing that you think that you would like to see change in terms of how society views people and kids with disabilities, if you had one dream, what would it be?
Let's go back to, in Africa especially, we have this saying that about Ubuntu, I am because you are. The child is for the community. But for us, as special needs parents, the child is yours. People walk away. Yet you need that support. That support is what keeps you as a mother sane. Is what will enable you to leave someone else with your child for you to just take a nap. Because there are very many sleepless nights that we have and still have to wake up and face the day. So love and support and understanding in everything that we're going through. When you feel like you looking at my child weird, ask a question, whatever it is. Don't make them feel like something is wrong. Because remember, they feel you, they see you. And this will also mess up their self-esteem when they realize it's only me who's getting the stares. It's only me who's not being involved. And that's what society needs to change.
Going back to community and building that structure, that support. We all need it.
We all need it.
Right? And especially as mothers. Thank you so much, Sylvia. You and I will meet again. We'll cross paths. You are the reason, we are the reason why conferences like this exist. We are the beating heart of conferences like this. So as a woman with a disability, first of all, I want to thank you for everything you do. I want to say, continue raising your voice, continue fighting for those little warriors you have, continue being part of this amazing community. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your story. It's amazing, and I know you and I will have other interviews. This is just
the beginning.
The beginning of many. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for staying with us. Stay tuned for more interviews. This has been my interview with Dr. Sylvia Mochabo from Kenya.